Hey guys, it's Josh with Lonnie Bug Organics. Today, I want to update you guys on the progress of the farm, mainly the pumpkins for the pumpkin patch that we'll be sponsoring in October. I also want to go over one of the pest bugs that are always a problem when growing any plant in the squash or cucurbit family, the squash bug. For the pumpkin patch, we will have over 20 varieties of pumpkins, gourds, and decorative corn. Plot 2, which is the one in front, is doing really well. This is where I have the carving pumpkins and mini pumpkins. I plan according to size. So the Dills Atlantic, which hold the record for the largest pumpkins, are in the back, and the small minis are in the front. Here's plot 3. As you can see, we have a bad grass problem. It's already been weeded twice, but since it's gotten much warmer, there have been new flushes of grass growing. On the plus side, the pumpkins haven't started vining out yet, so there's still some time to recover the area. Weeding this plot may have to wait another week or so, because if it gets hoed out, a lot of the grass can get rerooted and keep growing. If it gets pulled out right now, some of the grass is still young and tender to where it'll snap at the base and it'll continue growing. So we may have to wait, so that way everything will have to be hand pulled. Hand weeding may take much longer, but doing this approach will ensure that it'll be a much cleaner job and I won't have to go back to weed for a second or third time. However, I will be weeding the grasses at the base of the pumpkin plants. Doing this will help deter the pest bugs from wanting to stay next to the squash plants because they won't have as much foliage to hide under, and also the grass won't be taking up the nutrients that the pumpkin plants will need to stay strong and healthy. Here is an example of one of the most damaged and infested pumpkin plants. It is on the outside edge, which is where the pest bugs are most likely going to stop first. That's why having a trap crop is always important when practicing organic monoculture. Now getting into the squash bugs. Here are clusters of squash bug eggs. When the eggs are first laid, they are a light bronze color. It'll take about 1 week, depending on temperature, for them to hatch. When they are about to hatch, they'll become a much darker bronze color. Majority of the time, the adult female squash bug will lay her clusters of eggs on the underside of the squash plant leaves, usually in the creases of the veins of the leaves. One adult female squash bug can lay up to 250 eggs in her lifetime. The small bugs that you see crawling around are squash bug nymphs, or baby squash bugs. These guys just hatched out. As you can see, they have a small green abdomen. That is an indication that they're newly hatched. Squash bugs go through 5 instars or molts before they become an adult. It will take about 1 week for the eggs to hatch, and another 4 to 6 weeks for them to become an adult. Here are some examples of adult squash bugs. Adult males and females can both fly. However, males are more prone to fly, so they can find a female to mate with. When they are mating, they are attached at the tip of the abdomen. If it is early morning or late evening, you may see them on top of the plant foliage. However, usually they stay hidden in the decaying organic matter at the base of the squash plant. Squash bugs can transmit angular leaf spot into your squash plants. It is a disease that causes chlorosis or necrosis of the leaf tissue, so it can cause yellowing or kill the plant tissue. Here are some adult squash bugs and eggs that I collected while walking in the pumpkin patch today. If you need to get rid of your squash bugs that you collected, you can put them in a alcohol solution, freeze them, or best case scenario, if feed them to the chickens so they don't go to waste. Here's some other plants that we have at the farm. Right here we have about 5 different varieties of sunflowers, a total of about 400 plants. As you can see, they are starting to flower, so these will be going to the farmer's market very soon. Here we have the ornamental corn. We have 2 different varieties. There is the Painted Mountain and Glass Gem. The Painted Mountain didn't do as well in terms of plant stand, but I think I planted a little bit too early, so next year I'll maybe start a little bit later and it should be alright. But all in all, it looks pretty good and it'll be ready for Halloween. Here's the Dill's Atlantic giant pumpkin. So these hold the world record for largest pumpkin. They can get up to about 2,500 pounds. I don't expect the pumpkin to get that large, or don't want it to, because I won't be able to move it, but I might try to do it with this vine and just to see how big I can get it as long as I'm able to move it. Here we have a European praying mantis that's being nice and camouflaged into the environment. It's probably about a L4 to an L5, so it has a couple more molts to become an adult. This is one of the best beneficial bugs to have in your pumpkin patch right now to help deter the squash bugs. You know, it's going to go after the nymphs and the adults, just depending on the size of the mantis. I've seen the mantises right now, I've seen a couple in the pumpkin patch to where they're from an L3 to an L5 or so. So they're about, middle size, and they're starting to go to work. So that's awesome to see these guys naturally in the pumpkin patch and helping me out getting rid of the squash bugs. Here we have a beneficial arachnid. So it is a adult female bull jumping spider. So she's primarily going to go after the smaller pest bugs, but in our case for the pumpkin patch, she'll be going after the nymphs of the squash bug. So she's very beneficial for the pumpkin. So we're just going to leave her alone and let her do her thing. Alright guys, that's it for now. I hope this video was informative and helpful for everyone. If you have any questions, just comment below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.